In the latest defamation case, Amber Heard may not be able to pay the verdict, but she just brought in some cash. The judge ruled in favor of Johnny Depp in both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's defamation claims, and the decision was considered to be highly significant. Heard owes Depp more than $8 million at this point in time, and there are some issues as to whether or not she has the means to pay it. Even if the fight isn't over yet, the situation is as follows. On the other hand, it would appear that Heard has just made a sizable sum of money for herself by selling a home that she owned for more than $1 million. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fast-Paced Celeb. Today, we'll be looking at how Amber Heard reacted to Johnny making a new deal while she sells her home. Yeah, you heard it right. So, let's start our video. According to TMZ, Amber Heard was the previous owner of a piece of real estate that was recently sold in the community of Yucca Valley in the Southern California region of California for the price of $1,050,000. There's been some confusion around who exactly owned the property until 2019 when it was acquired by a trust. However, TMZ could establish through the current owners that Heard had previously owned the business, even though they had never worked with the actress individually. Amber Heard has made a significant profit in addition to freeing up the cash contained in the home by selling the property in 2019 for the price of $570,000, which was the original purchase price of the home. After the verdict was handed down, it was certainly interesting to see the property become sold right away. It has not been established whether or not Amber Heard possesses the financial resources necessary to pay the decision rendered against her. This proceeding may be an attempt to locate those resources. It's also possible that this move was made to free up funds linked to the trial for a slightly different reason. Even though it was done to free up cash relevant to the trial, Amber Heard has stated that she would be appealing the verdict, which indicates that she will most likely be required to pay her attorneys while the appeal is processed through the court system. In the end, even if the award handed to Johnny Depp was reduced due to the appeal, the cost of pursuing the appeal would have been worthwhile money spent. There is, of course, the third possibility, and that is that the sale of the house has absolutely nothing to do with a conflict that is currently being litigated. It is possible that it'll wind up being significant after all. Suppose it turns out that Amber Heard will be ordered to pay Johnny Depp a significant quantity of money. In that case, the proceeds from the sale of the property she just closed on will very certainly become relevant to the legal proceedings. Even if Heard is forced to declare bankruptcy as a result of the ruling, she won't be protected. The jury determined that both sides were guilty of making unreasonable demands of the other, but they awarded Depp a much larger sum. In the beginning, Depp was granted a total of $15 million in damages, but due to Virginia law, that amount was eventually reduced to a little more than $10 million. Heard was only granted $2 million in damages. Therefore, the remaining balance of around $8 million that Heard owes at this time is still outstanding. In light of the length of time it is required to actually conduct the defamation trial in the first place, it is possible that the appeal will not be considered or determined for some more time. The most important financial questions will almost definitely have to be put on hold until the appeal is considered. When this occurs, a wide variety of additional issues may need to be answered before moving further. It has been reported that Amber Heard has sold her home in California in an effort to pay off Johnny Depp. She reportedly made a profit of approximately $500,000 from the sale. According to the property records provided by Zillow, the actor known as Mera in Aquaman purchased the Yucca Valley home in 2019 for the price of $570,000 through an anonymous trust. She was able to make a significant profit of $480,000 thanks to the Southern California property owned by the actress after it was sold for $1.05 million. Which is 75% more than the price that Heard purchased the house for 3 years earlier. According to a report distributed by TMZ, the new owner of the house has stated that he has been in communication with Heard's people, but has never spoken directly with her. According to reports, the actor is attempting to make major life changes and remove herself from the area of Hollywood, as well as the overwhelming amount of attention that she receives from the media. Heard has given notice that she will be appealing the ruling of the court in the explosive defamation case. The court found that she had defamed her ex-husband in an opinion piece that she wrote for the Washington Post. On the other hand, Heard was successful in one of her 3 counterclaims and was given $2 million in compensatory damages. Depp, on the other hand, was awarded $10.35 million in damages. The 36-year-old actor wrote on Instagram, expressing her disappointment post-verdict. "The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the amount of evidence was still not enough to stand up to my ex-husband's disproportionate power, influence, and sway. I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously, she added. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section down below.